Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm Zilla,
I'm Tortoise.
and welcome to Ancient Gaming, the live stream where I play video games with ancient studies content and talk about it. Hello and welcome those of you in chat. Hi, Fane Abyssal, good to see you. DJ Trundlebot, always good. I am by training an ancient studies and linguistics person, and Tortoise is a puzzle constructor. So between the two of us, we look at games and sort of talk about the relative pieces of them, whatever comes up, that relates to what we do. We have been playing Chants of Sennaar, a wonderful game. We are pretty close to the end, I think. Maybe this time or next time. Hi, Nonoft. Here is to more science indeed. Science! Or I think they call it alchemy here.
Alchemy for the alchemist god.
So, just to give you a little bit of a summary, so this is a game about climbing what is presented as sort of a Tower of Babel scenario where each level of the tower has a different society with a different glyphic language, and you have to learn the language in order to solve puzzles and progress towards the top. If you do not want to be spoiled further than that, if you have not been watching along, all of my streams are recorded and put up on my YouTube channel, Zilla's Athenaeum, and you can go find them there. This one will be as well, of course. I have all of my streams there as well as all of my other video content, including video essays, deep dives into weird little linguistics things, board game media criticism, whatever comes up. So, today we are in the alchemist's level, near the top of the tower. I'm going to do a little recap for anybody who hasn't been following along. So we started out in an area filled with some kind of priests. They call themselves devotees. They were being blocked from ascending the tower towards the figure that they know as God by a group of warriors. Once we snuck into the warrior realm, we realized that they thought that the devotees were the impure, and that the people above them, who played some kind of music, were the chosen that they were protecting. So once we got all the way up into the chosen section, we found out that they call themselves bards. They are in search of beauty above all else, except that their society was very deeply ugly in that they had a slave caste. We made some connections that allowed the slaves to escape down to the devotee layer where everyone is free. And we also made some connections that convinced the warriors that the devotees were not impure, but in fact had music that was just as worthy of respect as the bard's music. Once we got up through the bard's area, we found a level where there was a monster, and we had to sneak past it, which was interesting. We haven't found out why that is. I'm not sure if we will. And then we found our way into the alchemist's area, which is where we are now. The alchemists appear to have this idea that above them are the fairies, which I thought I was joking when I called them fairies, but that's what the book calls them too. So, we have been puttering around, and we'll see what we can see, but one thing I'm looking for is we appear to have missed one of the teleport areas. So I'm going to be looking for that first, I think. So let's... Can we talk to you? Hello, alchemist. No prompt.
If you could stop at the directory, I'd just like to take another look at that.
Of course.
Not that it may tell us where the teleporter is, but try to get, now that we know more words, to see if we can use what we know to get even more.
Oh. Thanks for calling out the bot. How do I ban you? There you are. No, thank you. One of these days I'll get better about moderation, but I haven't really learned all the Twitch tools yet. Okay, so here we have our little directory. So the fairy door, the door of fairies, is on the top left. We don't know what's in the bottom left, or we don't know the word for that.
Maybe it's the library? Is that where
I feel like it's the library. Maybe we can call that the library? That's this one, right?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's this one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so the fairy door is above the library. And then on the right side, we have the transmutation room above the cafeteria, the food place.
And I will note that the thing inside the transmute, it's got the verb, what we believe to be the verb sign of the backward C. Mm-hmm. And then what's in it looks kind of like the sort of pyramid shapes that we've been seeing in all of the
elements.
No, I was going to say all of the different words for the different ideals of the different levels. Like God and duty and things like that.
You're right.
And so that could be like this is some sort of like philosopher's stone or quintessence type of thing.
Yeah, if you're at all familiar with the background of alchemy, the idea behind alchemy as a philosophy was never the sort of physical transmutation of lead into gold, or that was of course sought after, but the basics behind it were seeking the transmutation of the leaden parts of your being into a sort of golden, pure, higher being. So it makes a lot of sense that their idea of God, if we're concerning alchemists, would relate to the transmutation of metals.
And in particular, I like the idea that since they've established 4 elements, or metals, but carbon isn't a metal, that this would somehow be combining them to make the 5th element. And so we get to see Mila Jovovich beating up aliens next.
As long as we get that really cool concert, I'm in. Fane Abyssal is asking about why the chat doesn't show up in my replays. I actually do not know how to record the chat on a replay. So you'll have to forgive me, Fane Abyssal. I actually am relatively new to Twitch, as it were. I mean, I've been doing this stream in particular for a while, but I really haven't done a lot of experimentation. So I actually don't know how to do that. But also, people are typically fairly quiet while I'm streaming. I get a lot more views on YouTube than I do here. But I do try to call out as I go along anything that people are saying in chat that seems particularly interesting or relevant. So do keep chatting, and I will keep responding. So in terms of this language, this particular glyph set, we were talking about how that backward C is what we think of as sort of a verbal marker for this language. And the reason I started off thinking, maybe that pyramid shape is some kind of element is because we do actually see it in the elements that we've seen, in their word for gold, and their word for silver and copper, and even coal. So that's kind of interesting, right? That their word for their idea of the highest good is an element, right? Like it feeds into that concept of alchemy I was just talking about. Fane Abyssal doesn't have the answers either. Well, yeah. Oh, really? I did not know that. So apparently Fane Abyssal is a little hard to pronounce. But welcome, I'm glad I got it right. So what else can we tell about these glyphs? Because we really haven't talked in detail about the radicals of them, the pieces of the glyphs, all that much. So I think it's interesting that the food, the cafeteria, has this sort of almost a mouth kind of shape with a top line and then a curve. And we see that also in the library and in the word for mine.
So I think that's a place marker.
So it must be a place. So this isn't really just food so much as it is cafeteria, which, kind of makes sense. That's what I've been saying anyway.
And then maybe the thing that's inside it is meant to be like a fork or something.
They do like their forks.
To represent food.
They do like their forks on this level. So one thing we were talking about actually just before we started stream was the alchemists in this factory level or laboratory or whatever they're calling it. They have a concept of regimented time in a way that none of the other layers seem to. Right? In the Abbey down at the bottom, there was nothing really about time other than where the sun was, which doesn't seem to change per level. In the Warrior's realm, there was just the routine. Things just happen over and over and over as long as they take. The bards don't care about time because their only pursuit is beauty. And then, there was one thing on the Warriors level where they had the bells, and those seem to be related not so much to time of day as to when the Chosen came. So it could have been time, and yet it kind of wasn't. But here in the cafeteria, they have a clock with their little numbers all around it, and food it's labeled out 1, 2, 3, and then a fork for food, and aren't they so proud of that pun, 1, 2, 3, fork? I don't know, I've said it a bunch, so I like it too. I can't fault them at all. Alright.
So we think we have mines for different metals. I think so that's some other place. What
was there? Well, we should be about to find out, actually. Because we're on that side, right? So... you have something to say. I'm sure you already said it. I seek 7. I find 9. Interesting.
Well, we're guessing at seek and find.
True.
It's like, or maybe it's I count 7, I want 9.
It could be.
So we have seek and...
Okay, so this is the cafeteria. We want to go down further. But there's the little clock, you see.
Actually, can you go... I want to... Even though it won't actually register them in...
you just want to record the numbers?
Yeah. Let me start again, because originally we didn't know which number was which. They weren't recorded in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 was that. 6.
Yeah. Is this the only numbering system we have that isn't the one that's on the portals?
I
think it is.
think so. So we were missing 8.
The 9 has a little backwards too. 10 is 1 backwards.
11 is 10
11
and
is
1,
10
I
and
guess.
1. Or Labris. Depending on what you want. A Labris being a double-headed axe. The particular style that I'm citing is associated with both the ancient Minoans and also lesbians. I'm sure I knew why at some point, but I've forgotten.
Alright.
Okay, so we want to take a look at what's below on this side. Big ol' metal stairs. Okay. This might be a laboratory. Or a classroom. Oh, I don't know if we even looked at this.
All these things crossed out. This is
That is a lot of numbers.
gold, and then if we're extrapolating from 19
Yeah, we don't have a
silver. Ooh,
we don't have a placement for the upper ones. We don't know whether that's like hundreds or thousands or
yeah.
some other.
But let me at least transcribe these, because this may be relevant to using the transmuting device or something.
Could be.
Of course, all of these seem to be wrong,
Yes.
but that may be
But
necessary.
it is interesting that we can learn about their number system in this way, because we have the up and down line just to start with, which is the same as the start in the enumeration on teleportals, whatever we're calling them. But then there are 4 placements along that axis, and we do actually know that they use a base 10, because once they got to 11, they started using a combination. So we can tell how they work in base 10. We can understand the set that is basically up through 99. But then we have this question of whether that is hundreds or thousands up on the upper left or upper right. And what do they do if they get beyond thousands? I wonder. So that curled hook with a line through it that we see a couple of times, is that one of the numbers that we don't have attested?
Yeah, and presumably
I think that must be 8,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I would assume so. I am still. This transcription will take a while. So extemporize.
Tortoise is writing it all down in a little notebook so that we can look back at it, which goes even beyond what they give us in here. Because we do have an in-game journal. I think you saw it briefly when I opened it up to write some of our projected meanings down. So I wonder if that glyph at the top is experiment or formula or something like that. Just tests of different combinations of gold, silver, and copper. There are some that appear to have coal as well, which is the 4th thing that they have a symbol for that we know about. The 4th element. Oh wait, no, it's carbon. It is actually an element. But they call it carbon. So this layer has a lot of very interesting, unique properties. In terms of how the culture is conceiving of time in this regimented and constructed fashion, and getting very precise ingredients and proportions and weights. We've seen a lot of weights and measures in here. There's even something that we were playing with earlier that had a bunch of weights on it, which now that it might be in this room, I think, because we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't know all the numbers at that point, so it was kind of hard to figure out what the weights actually were.
I think that was in the transmute station.
Possibly. But yeah, so like there's a very different attitude that we associate with more modern communities that deal with exacts, precision and time, precision and measure, weights, measurements, scientific approach, which is not at all observable in a lot of places, a lot of cultures. It's not at all necessary for life. It's very good for mass production, for advanced technology, but it's also very good for chopping people's lives up into smaller and smaller fragments. Personally, I have a vendetta against socially constructed time, but that's just me.
It's not just socially constructed time, though.
Yeah, time is an illusion. That's the dinner bell.
So are pants.
So are pants. Pants are a social construction. Not really. It's more that being what constitutes proper clothing is socially constructed. Which is another thing that we definitely see among these cultures, like what each culture wears and how their architecture is something that I've been commenting all along. Like here we have a lot of very delicate metalwork, which is what you'd expect with yes, thank you. The timing of the dinner bell, perfect for the Douglas Adams quote, time is illusion, lunchtime doubly so. Very much so. Lunchtime is when you're hungry. Tortoise and I, of course, were quoting Avatar: The Last Airbender instead. Well, there's a very wise, silly person who lives in a swamp and wears like a woven skirt and shows up at some point and goes, "Time is an illusion, and so are pants."
And I think part of the context is that some of the other people from a different culture are like gawking at him.
Uh-huh. It's a good show. But so we also we have these either very delicate ceramics or glassware. Kind of hard to tell which from here, but I'm guessing glassware, which is another thing we haven't seen a ton of. We have seen a lot of ceramics, but not very fine ones. Just like we've seen metal work, but it was more in the style of bigger pieces. There are all sorts of things in this environment that we have not been seeing in the others, and that's a really interesting flow because we have, we don't have what appears to be a linear progression like we might expect from the myth of civilization, right? We don't go from the noble savage to, barter system. It doesn't go like that at all, which is much more realistic to how the world actually works.
All right. I've gotten...
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, Fane Abyssal says, have you heard the supposition that the reason we have 3 mealtimes is that white settlers wanted to separate themselves from Native Americans? Quite honestly, I wouldn't be totally surprised, except that I heard about it, I feel like I've seen the sort of assumption of 3 mealtimes in things that are earlier than contact with the indigenous folks of America. But certainly a lot of things that we consider very basic about Western civilization, or just, we white supremacy folks wanted to differentiate ourselves from some yipes. Oh, you're right, sorry, you did say natives, so indigenous people in general. But, the Europeans, the white Europeans, are indigenous to Europe. So that's not strictly a meaningful statement in that context. I don't mean to dismiss that. I'm just trying to think it through out loud. But yeah, so it very well may have developed in contrast to some civilization that somebody felt like was lesser and they needed to prove themselves better as. An example of this that I know a lot about, and I actually have a whole video on it on my channel, is fat phobia. The idea that fat bodies are inherently lesser and unhealthy is actually very deeply rooted in anti-black racism. And the study of the ideal body and all of that stuff kind of comes from this idea of, we have to differentiate our standard of beauty from these darker-skinned women. So that does happen a lot. I don't know about that specific thing, but it does happen a lot. So what else have we got in this room? Is this the weights machine? Oh no, this is a different machine that I haven't even... Ooh. Well, there's a bunch of numbers.
Okay, so, can you do that one at a time?
Sure.
Well, I just mean going through them, clicking it once at a time so I can just confirm that I have the...
Okay.
3, 4... Wait, what?
What?
Oh, did you go backwards?
Yeah, because you said you wanted to check them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just keep going forwards then.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
is 7 with a little hook. Okay.
Okay, just like we speculated. 9. And then it stops. It stops at
presumably
9.
That's 0.
Correct. Oh, this place has a concept of 0. That's not necessarily a given.
Is this some kind of a calculator then?
It could be.
You specify 2 4-digit numbers and then add them or something?
I feel like it might be a safe, though.
Oh, where you have 2 combinations?
Okay. Oh, we're adding.
Okay, so that means that we have...
So 1 in the 4-digit.
So this is... the thousands are in the upper left. The units are in the lower right. The tens are in the lower left. And that means the hundreds are in the upper right.
All right. We've learned their number system. Useful. Probably. Nanoff says, very plausible that rare customs could have been galvanized into rigid traditions to separate a so-called civilized culture from indigenous practices. So I have to recommend here the book, is it The Dawn of Everything? The History of Everything? It's very, very good. David Graeber and I don't remember his name right now. Very good, talks a lot about prehistorical cultures where we don't have a ton of writing from them. And in fact, the evidence that we do have, even when we get to written indigenous cultures, when the white folk are encountering them and noticing differences. One of the things that the archaeological evidence tells us a lot of times is that groups of people will distinguish themselves by custom more than anything else. So if one group has a tradition of wearing snowshoes and the other group has a tradition of wearing skis, even if it might make sense for them to switch back and forth, sometimes they might end up separating themselves into the snowshoe tribe and the ski tribe or whatever. And that seems to be borne out along a lot of lines, although it's never a given. But it is one of the ways that you can watch people work. And like, oh, we don't do what that group does, you know. Oh, we've got more numbers. So that's 6.
6 is the one on the bottom of the right column.
And then 7.
It's the bottom of
Ooh.
the column.
Thought I'd already done that. And then 8 is the one with that. And then 9 is this one, and it is in fact 0. So yeah, not every culture, even those with fairly advanced mathematics, have invented a concept of 0. You can see this in something like Roman numerals. Like, there just is not a numeral that means 0. There's certainly nothing. You can say nullus, it means nothing. But the idea of mathematical 0 is something that some people think about and some people don't, in terms of distinguishing what kind of things you can do with numbers and how you conceptualize the presence or absence of something, how abstracted that concept is. All right. So that calculator might just have been for teaching us numbers. I'm not sure.
So can you go back to the
board?
Because now that we know this, I just want to double check a couple of things.
Right.
Okay,
So now we
that's
know
actually-
that
that's
first one is 1,241 silver.
Yep. That's 9205. I am seeing some of the same numbers repeated, but
They seem a little random. Are they all primes? No, they're not all primes. Some of them end in even numbers. So.
So in the third one, the digit on the bottom right of the third thing, is that an 8?
That's an 8, yeah. 8,908.
479. 805. 2. What was that one? 3308. Oh no, 47. Where did we see 479 before? Oh wait. Huh? Oh, I just entered that twice.
Well, while he's on about the numbers, I hope you are all doing well. I'm very interested in this concept of the fairies above, because we have seen a number of times the depiction of the tower looking very much like one of the traditional depictions of the Tower of Babel. And so to have winged figures at the top who sort of seal it off from everybody below, and then everybody below loses touch with each other and can't speak the same language anymore and needs a translator, is giving very Tower of Babel vibes, right? So I'm really wondering if we're going to get up there and find angels. Although I kind of hope that they're just like people who wear prosthetic wings. That would make me even happier. So, on the off chance that anybody isn't familiar with the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, which was in fact my Torah portion when I had my bat mitzvah, the Tower of Babel was where humanity got so hubristic that they tried to build a tower to heaven to interact with God, and
I wanted to ask to see if you could do a couple more things in there.
Okay, sure.
So go back to the calculator and just like what happens if you have digits in the same like if you have two different. Go to the ones place and just put something in both slots. Okay, so yes, it is. It is adding.
And so in punishment for their hubris, God cast them down from the tower, broke their languages into the myriad of languages that spread throughout the world, and made them unable to speak to one another. So this would be a pretty classic setup for that, and an interesting idea given the gameplay.
Is there anything on? There is.
Yeah, I think we saw. Oh, it's a ruler. So
this is confirming.
It's just confirming more numbers.
How the tens work.
We got anything else in here? Maybe I hadn't been here before. Maybe that's...
I'm pretty sure you haven't. Whoa.
Oh boy. Okay, so library we think is this one. Mine, cafeteria, and where was the other one? There. Library, refectory, laboratory, and a mine. Alrighty. Can we speak to these people? Yes, we can. So the fairies made the door. Alchemy will open the door. So they're trying to make a key to get to heaven. But they haven't been able to do it. And I'm gonna do it. We find... I think that's formula. Do you think that's formula?
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
We find transmute. So I think this is the formula for transmutation.
Although again, I think maybe we have seek and find backwards.
Could be.
But so
So what else is in here? What do we got all over these tables? Anything? Well, we can look at this mural. So we want to transmute.
So 3 things and fire.
So those are not glyphs. Those look like atoms.
Yeah.
They're clearly not, but that's what they look like. But I think they're meant to signal to us, because of how we represent atoms, I think they're meant to signal to us that they're elemental.
So I guess all of the different formulas were different attempts to synthesize 3 elements, or to combine 3 elements to synthesize something.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We do see, in terms of rings, it's 2, 3, 2, and each one has one little electron bouncing around.
I don't think that anything
I don't
meaningful
know.
can be drawn from that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we would be able to see from that. So, all right. So, lab 1. Ooh, lab 2.
And another lab that has been defaced. Or something that has been defaced.
Okay. Well, let's go to the defaced area.
Open laboratory.
I mean, it's presumably lab 3, but... Oh! Hey! It's a depiction of the monster. Oh!
So I wonder if one of those is light. Or monster fears fire or something like that.
Yeah, I want it to be monster fears fire, but we don't have the verb marker.
Or it could be afraid.
Oh, it could be. Could be an adjective. But I feel pretty solid that this is monster.
So this is why we have a lighter.
I guess so.
So that's that and that.
So we think we have well, we now have a look at every symbol in this language. And we think we might know the meanings of all of them, but we're about to get some confirmation.
So I guess that first one is transmute.
And then that second one is formula. Then monster and fear. Transform, formula, monster, and fear. Oh, call Ed and Alphonse. We must investigate the third laboratory. Who are Ed and Alphonse? I don't recognize that one. So we know most of the symbols. Oh, can we light it? I bet we can.
Oh.
Oh, all right. So fire and help. Oh.
I think make fire?
Yeah. Make fire help. Okay, so far so good. Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I should have known that. I haven't seen the whole thing. Well, I haven't seen the whole of either one of the things. But I did enjoy what I did see. I should investigate that at some point. So, what do you say? Lab 3. And we have some kind of control panel with numbers on it. Nothing to indicate what we should do.
Probably some kind of combination lock.
Probably. Okay, so that's lab 3. And clearly we have some more exploring to do up there. We should at least check out lab 2. Oh, this is lab 2. Okay.
I'm not sure we went into the thing to the right, though. Oh.
It's lab 3. All right. Okay. So somewhere there is... Oh, Labs. Alright. Somewhere there is a teleporter we haven't found. So we're gonna have to do some looking around. Hello.
Hello.
Alchemist. I help you. Do you, though? Here's our directory, so we're at the mine level. This is the elevator we initially came up from the monster level. I'm kind of wondering if we go back to the monster level if we'll have that lantern again, but I kind of think not. So let's see.
Do you have inventory?
No, I have no inventory here. Oh, but I found the missing teleportal. And a translation between bard and alchemist, it looked like. Okay, so here we can see the our depiction of the tower. You can see why I think of it as the Tower of Babel, and all of our teleportals, which give us the numbering system that we've seen before, where it looks a little more like Ohm ruins, so there's a main shaft, and then you mark the number off on the side. So we have all the way up to 9, but no idea what 10 would be. Maybe a new stick.
Do we have a translation?
Oh.
It's with the fairies.
But we might be able to do some of the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else was available.
I'm ready to find out.
Oh.
Okay, we did that one.
Oh, right. We got the bards to go down to the warriors, so that one's done. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Do that.
Warren.
Okay. So bards to alchemists. So brothers I'm seeking. The bard language has that really interesting word order. So for alchemists, that's gonna be I, then seek. We haven't confirmed which one's which yet, so we'll have to guess. Nope. Okay, so I think you're right. This must be seek. Yep. Okay. So, brothers, the warriors are not. So the warriors. We have a knot, right?
Yes. It's the two circles with a 45-degree angle between them.
Two circles. There we go. Well, that's interesting. That's not that different from one of the glyphs on the devotee level. No, not bard, brother, and then plural.
Oh.
So
I find book.
oh yeah, there was that book in the library that we found that said that the bards and alchemists were brothers once.
So book I find.
Book was one of the later ones we got. Book. And then what was I?
It's interesting how we have not had a second person pronoun in the alchemist level.
Oh, we have.
We have?
Yeah, it's one of the 4 we haven't
Oh,
got confirmation on yet.
Right.
4, 5.
Oh yeah, I help you. So
Yes. So, we need find. We are brothers. Okay.
brothers we are.
So, brother was... There we are. Brother... Plural...
I plural.
It's amazing how the glyphs just kind of fall out of my head after a couple of weeks.
So I guess one thing is that the alchemist language does not appear to have copula.
Right. And not all of the languages do. So a copula is the verb to be, particularly in the present. A lot of languages just don't have a word for that. It just, if you say something without a verb, that is what is assumed. And you can do that in English too if you're speaking casually. Just be like, which one is it? This one. You don't need it is this one, even though if you were writing, you would of course say that. But in a lot of languages, even formally, you just wouldn't have a verb there. Like Russian doesn't have a present tense copula. Latin has one, but doesn't use it often. It's very variable.
In Russian, there are verb forms of to be which are used in the past and future, but
it's much more common to lose the copula in the present tense than the past or future, assuming you have those tenses, because not all languages go that way exactly.
be.
Oh.
Okay, getting somewhere. Brothers we are. Okay. We... are...
Brother.
Huh?
No copula.
No copula.
Brother is on the
brother
one
is
to the
down
right.
here. Then plural.
Oh.
All right. Something has changed in the tower.
So I wonder which way they went.
So let's see about this translation. Have we done this one yet?
Ah.
Yes. Okay, that was welcoming the slaves to where they would be free, and me forgetting to stay in the thing again. Oh,
Warriors are talking to fairies.
down the
There's
tower we
definitely
go.
one more where the alchemists were talking to somebody.
I feel like it was pretty early on, but we don't have that many to check. Oh, here's one.
Alchemist warriors.
Alchemists help find monster. Or seek help with the monster, right? Because we have those backwards.
Right.
So the
So-
warrior language,
Was plural before? I think plural was.
plural's before in the warrior language, but the order is still subject
Object
verb.
verb.
It's
Subject verb, yeah.
Subject verb object. The dot above the numbered floor indicates whether or not you have completed the conversation. Oh, okay, that's good to know. That will make it much easier for the last few. Okay, so for them it's scientists. Scientists.
Well, is it?
Seek
Oh, yeah.
help.
Select, maybe? Oh,
There.
help.
Help.
And I don't know if we have a monster. Would it?
I would guess impure. Yep. We are afraid. Hi, Tengluchi. Welcome. Okay, so we...
Plural. And it's scientists.
Do they not have pronouns in this one? I guess they don't.
They're using scientist and not... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then fear. I don't remember what fear looks like.
Somewhere to the left, because we encounter it fairly early.
Stop that. I mean, fear does seem like a pretty big factor in the life of any warrior.
Huh. That's odd, because like one of the first things you found in the Rosetta Stone was like warrior...
There it is.
Oh.
Okay. We do not seek death. Oop, plural first. Problems in translation. You know, not everything is one-to-one in real life. Like, it would make more sense for the scientist to be saying we, but because there aren't pronouns in our set of warrior glyphs, at least I don't think there are. They just don't use that. Is it seek death not? Or is it not death seek?
That's a good question.
Well, I guess we can find out.
I don't think I wrote down enough full sentences to have that information.
Where is the not? Trying to remember.
Not is
Oh,
the square
that
that
one.
thing. Yeah.
Not seek. Not death.
Death is the thing that looks like a scarecrow on the second column. Oh. Warrior.
For science! I mean death! Okay, so... Warriors do not fear death.
No, warriors
or
do not fear
the impure. Okay, so warriors was... which one? Oh, there it is. Warrior, plural, negative...
2 columns over.
Do not fear a monster. Warriors will help the scientists! Huzzah! Okay. Warrior, plural, help was one of these. Help. Scientists. Where are
2 down.
Oh yeah, there. Alchemist. Plural. Huzzah! Something has changed in the tower. Okay, so let's test out this this tip from Fane Abyssal about... Oh yes! Yes, you're quite right. So there's a dot above, a full dot above the ones we've finished, I guess.
And then a half dot on
So why
one
is...
that we could finish, or what?
Don't know. So Nanoff says, I do think about the warriors using impure to talk about the devotees a lot of the time. They don't seem terribly threatening. Right. Well, that's the thing. In order to find yourself in a culture of people who strongly defend themselves, who are like very, bent on violence or deflection or keeping rigid rules, what you find there is a fear. And the fear doesn't have to be based in reality. What you find in a lot of very rigid culture systems of, for instance, of gender, the people who are the most afraid of those barriers breaking down are the ones who get the most violent. Because it's a threat to them and their existence, their mental existence, for people to cross those lines, for those rigid rules to fall down. And so it's not too surprising that a group of warriors would declare somebody impure without them being a threat at all.
And there's this thing of that sort of this hyper masculine trait of going into a room and sort of doing a threat assessment of everyone there, even if it's just strangers on a subway or whatever. They're not going to suddenly attack.
And so Nanoff continues, so you have to kind of wonder if the warriors really realize what they're signing up for there. Yeah, well, probably not, since they don't have a direct connection to the monster, but, I think swords would help. Fire is better, but swords would help. I'm really, really curious about where the monster comes from. Very curious about what that is. Tengluchi says, well, they have bards, which they name the Chosen on the other side. Might be due to a case of not knowing other people well because of the language barrier and closed gates. And sure, I do agree to that. And fear is usually of something unknown, of something, fear is not necessarily based on a physical threat, but possibly on a mental or emotional threat. The fear of outsiders, the fear of people who aren't like us and don't have anything that we recognize as worthy. What are they living for? Their values could be dangerous to our way of life. Okay. So, devotees and the scientists, you help me. You help me. Plants
Or dead.
dying, death, dead, whatever. Whatever their particular context is. So, plants.
We do have plant. Plant is, it's...
That's fairy.
I know what it looks like from my notes, but I'm not finding it. Oh, third column, 2 up.
Huh?
No, sorry, 4. That.
Ah, there we are.
Yes.
Plant. Plural. Dead. I don't want the plants to die. Me neither. Plants dying is always sad. So, I... not...
Somewhat.
plants... No.
Down.
Plants, plural.
Oh.
I help you. I... Oops. I
The
don't...
telephone.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one that I was thinking of that kind of looks like the alchemist's word for not. I help. You... Nope, wrong one. You... I make formula. Just make...
I think something that's underlined.
Yeah.
potion, which is near the bottom of the next column.
Interesting that they both bow in thanks. Okay, so... chat has gotten fun. Okay, so, Nonoft, I'm just saying it's interesting the way that conversation is written and translated, and the surprise of the warriors might get when they show up ready to fight basically monks and find about a 10-foot-tall, light-fearing, aggressive monster. Tengluki says, I live on a border of a country, and I see firsthand how the difference in animosities there are met when we happen to meet each other on a daily basis. It happens even with people speaking the same language, having the same nationality, and working together for years. Oh, yes. People build up these differences in their head, and that matters more than the actual activity sometimes. Especially when there is a particular rhetorical purpose that is served by that kind of thing. Many hatreds are played upon by people who want power, and they drive a wedge between people who should be in solidarity in order to retain that power. Divide and conquer, you know? Nonoff says, definitely all valid and interesting points about mistrust and cultural divides. Very real and complex. Yes. Definitely. Okay, so then this is probably another blank one, but I'm gonna go check. Yep. Okay. So, I want to go see what changes have happened. Do we have live plants in the garden now? Let's see. Garden is this way.
Right.
Look at that!
And we have
An
Mr.
alchemist
Scientist.
hanging around. Awesome. Excellent. Oh, Nonoff says they appreciate my diligence and attention to detail in this game. Thank you. It's kind of the whole reason I'm playing games on this stream, right? It's not just a let's play. It's because I have stuff to say. Because they don't let me teach classes in university anymore. I don't have a job doing that, and I miss it. Which is also why I have a YouTube channel. Ten Glucci says the design of this game is amazing. Yes, I'm very fond of it. I've been really enjoying all of the things, because digging in has been really rewarding. And not every game where you dig in, like not every game where I see something to dig into ends up rewarding me for that, but they really have done a good job here. Okay, so...
The others are, we're expecting to see both the warriors and the bards in with the alchemists.
Right, so let's go to the monster level.
Yeah.
See what's going on out there.
Also, what's on
Also,
the...
we should, yeah. We never did look at this. You, seeking you are, found we have. Oh, and there's something written there under the cart.
Can you move the cart?
Yes, I can. Okay. Show me. I want to see what it says. It's a translation. Okay. But I should actually fix that so that I don't keep getting confused. I wonder why we haven't gotten prompts for that last group. At least I assume it's a last group.
Is there a set of prompts that we didn't fill in?
I don't think so. I guess I should check. Oh,
Oh, okay.
we just got it.
Yes.
All right. Well. Nope, not there. I think it's this one? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No?
No, you were right the first time.
Oh. Oops.
We changed it in the...
Right. There we go. Oh, interesting. Thanks for letting me know, 10. Duly noted. So I have completed my translation of all of the languages so far. Time for magic! Okay, so this is
Go out.
in the monster level. I don't know. I don't remember where we came from in here. Is there
That's one of the
this
places
way?
you came in. Like, you came in from the right in here.
Okay, so I should go down the other stairs because I want to see what's there.
Like, this is where you first came across a monster and it couldn't go into the light.
That's not what I wanted. Was I trying to go up here? Is this where it came from? Yeah, this is where it came from. So what's this way then?
So oh, you closed that.
Oh, right.
So I don't see any warriors around, but I also don't see any monsters.
Yeah. Interesting. Maybe they took care of it. I guess that's it then.
Maybe there will be warriors hanging around.
Upstairs.
Well, we would expect to see both warriors and bards.
No thanks, Ten. I don't want hints. But I appreciate the offer. So... Let's see. What happens if we go in Lab 3 now?
Oh, that's a good question.
Hello, Verb. Okay. Got our lantern. Nobody in here still. Still no indication of what numbers we should
What
be
is
using.
your... You had a scrap of paper or two in your inventory.
I do? I don't think I do. Just have silver and gold.
Oh, I thought at some point, like, there was a hat and inside it was a scrap, but I guess that didn't...
That might be...
Oh, it's in your journal.
In the journal somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Oh,
Ah.
so...
So that is...
Formula. No, not formula.
5,039.
Library 5039, yes.
Okay.
And that's at the library.
So let's go to the library. Hey! There they are. Not you. I don't need that.
Oh, they've captured a monster.
They captured the monster and they're studying it.
That's...
They're trying to turn it into a human. I knew it was human. Ha!
It's It's interesting. They seem to have some conception of like organic chemistry, judging by that diagram. I mean, they.
Okay, so I want to go upstairs. Into the library.
Books.
Books. My favorite place. So, what can I do with this number? It's very exciting, but I don't know what I'm doing. And it's great.
Is there?
What's this thing anyway? It's just that. Where are we learning
Are
the
there any of the?
fire?
Can you talk to any of the ones here? What was in that other book?
Don't know, and looks like not. Okay, what's over here? Oh, that's just how to use the alchemy machine.
Which is a thing that we still need to.
You say anything? No. Okay, yeah. It's just the display cases. Okay, so maybe upwards? Hey, it's some bards. Hey, you. Oh, and an open book. What are we looking at? Oh, that book. That makes sense as to why they're here. It's just our elemental chart again. Yep. Alright.
Oh.
I found a book about bards. Cool. Here's the fairy mural. Can't believe they call them fairies. More display cases, more people I can't talk to. I want to speak to the librarian. Here is the place with the hat and these formulas, which we can now decode, I guess,
Yeah.
but I don't think we need to.
Well, it's. Huh. Probably not.
It looks a bit sketch.
Like, yeah, they're not. It's not recording, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not fully.
readable.
It's not fully articulated. I think it's just meant to show that whoever was here was working on it, and that's the hat where we saw that number. Oh, that's
Oh,
not library.
laboratory.
That's laboratory.
Oops.
Haha. Well,
Oh, that's the combination to the
Right.
laboratory 3.
hey, hello. Ooh, there's a tram. I haven't taken a tram before. Where does the tram take me? Oh.
Oh.
Huh.
Fascinating.
Cool.
So,
And they've crossed off their sign about warriors.
past bards can.
Does this take us just between the two levels? Yeah, I guess so. That's still very cool. That makes me quite happy. Okay. So up. No, wait, down. The labs are down. Right. I know where I am. This way. Oh, that's the cafeteria. Well,
We need to go further down, and I think we can do that over here.
yeah. Just go down these service stairs. It's a good thing we never get tired. Okay, so this is lab 2. I guess we want in lab 3 now since we have a combo. Okay, 5029.
That was 5039.
5039. 5 0 3. There we go. What will we learn?
What monsters will we find?
Well, a busted up laboratory with a circled formula. Huzzah.
Okay.
I found the formula. I found the transformation.
I died.
I lost my hat. So,
Okay.
gold 1,405. Silver 812. And carbon 46? Is that 6?
Yeah, that's 6. Okay.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Oh! And they helpfully wrote it down for us, which is probably good. Something went boom.
Something with...
Oh no.
Oh, I see.
Look at the increasing size of hand and footprints, and there's a hole down to the monster level. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, you certainly found a formula. Probably not good to use on humans. But I guess that's what happened with the monster. That's why they're trying to turn it back into a human.
So we're still going to need to go back to the mines to put in the gold and silver.
It was in the mines?
Yeah, there were the little slot machine type things down there.
Okay.
Like where you put the gold and silver to actually supply to the transmutation station.
I see.
If I am understanding correctly. Because one of the things was that the transmutation station did not have gold and silver.
That's
supplies.
true. Looking in that hole prior to the monster being captured, you would have heard it breathing down below in the third lab. Thank you, Nonoff. That's interesting to know. The sequence broke. So if we're going to have to mess about in the mines, then I think this is a good place to stop for the day. Looks like we will get into the last level next weekend. So thank you very much for joining us for this one. It has been a good time. And I will see you next week, next Saturday at 3 p.m. as usual. Keep learning, friends.